constructed response 2. The question you are going to be answering based on the passage is the following. Compare and contrast Scout's reaction to Miss Caroline with that of Atticus. What conclusions can be drawn about each character? So your response should be one paragraph total. First things first, you need to know who Miss Caroline is. Miss Caroline is Scout's first grade teacher, okay? Scout, remember, is our narrator. She's a 6-year-old girl in To Kill a Mockingbird at the start of the story. And then you have her father, Atticus. Okay, so that's who is involved in this passage. Let's go ahead and read the story. And as you read the passage, you want to make sure you're focusing in on Scout's reaction and Atticus's reaction to the situation. In this excerpt from To Kill a Mockingbird, the main character, Scout, has spent her first day with her new teacher, Miss Caroline. Miss Caroline is upset that Scout can already read and is concerned that she has learned to read the quote-unquote wrong way. Miss Caroline tells Scout she is no longer to read with her father, Atticus, since Atticus does not know how to teach reading. Scout also tries to be helpful in explaining a student's family situation, for which she gets in trouble as well. At home now, she is feeling down about her experience. So this is where the passage begins. Remember, the person saying I is Scout. She is our narrator. I was weary from the day's crimes. After supper, Atticus sat down with the paper and called, Scout, ready to read? The Lord sent me more than I could bear, and I went to the front porch. Atticus followed me. Already, you can tell, she says she's weary. She's worn out from the day. Something wrong, Scout? I told Atticus I didn't feel very well and didn't think I'd go to school any more if it was all right with him. Atticus sat down in the swing and crossed his legs. His fingers wandered to his watch pocket. He said that was the only way he could think. He waited in amiable silence, and I sought to reinforce my position. You never went to school, and you do all right, so I'll just stay home too. You can teach me like Granddaddy taught you and Uncle Jack. No, I can't, said Atticus. I have to make a living. Besides, they'd put me in jail if I kept you at home. Dose of magnesia for you tonight and school tomorrow. I'm feeling all right, really. Thought so. Now what's the matter? So at this point you can tell Atticus sees that Scout is upset about something. She's feeling pretty upset about it. He asks her about it. Bit by bit, I told him the day's misfortunes. And she said, you taught me all wrong, so we can't even read anymore, ever. Please don't send me back. Please, sir. Atticus stood up and walked to the end of the porch. When he completed his examination of the wisteria vine, he strolled back to me. First of all, he said, if you can learn a simple trick, Scout, you'll get along better with all kinds of folks. You never really understand a person until you consider things from his point of view. At this point, we now understand that that's one of the themes of the story, trying to have an understanding of where a person is coming from, trying to understand them. Sir, until you climb into his skin and walk around in it. So we can tell Atticus is understanding. He's trying to understand where Miss Caroline is coming from, and he's trying to teach Scout the same thing. Atticus said, I have learned many things today, and Miss Caroline had learned several things herself. She had learned not to hand something to a Cunningham, for one thing, but if Walter and I put ourselves in her shoes, we'd have seen it was an honest mistake on her part. We could not expect her to learn all Maycomb's ways in one day, and we could not hold her responsible when she knew better. Okay, so Atticus is really trying to explain to his daughter where he thinks Miss Caroline is coming from. He's very understanding. I'll be dogged, I said. I didn't know no better, than not to read to her, and she held me responsible. Listen, Atticus, I don't have to go to school. I was bursting with a sudden thought. Burrs, you'll remember, he just goes to school the first day. The truant lady reckons she carried out the law when she gets his name on the roll. You can't do that, Scout, Atticus says. Sometimes it's better to bend the law a little in special cases. In your case, the law remains rigid. So to school you must go.